Okay, I've been trying to understand what's going on with the horizontal stability in the Quadrapong. When you power it up, you would have to tweak the horizontal to get the image to stabilize, and then as the game would run and warm up, it would lose its horizontal sync and you'd have to tweak it again. And so I was probing here this horizontal circuitry and just doing some simple checks. I thought there was something wrong with the horizontal tuning inductor, or they call it a ferrite, a bead. But anyway, it looks like the problem was this resistor right here. It turns out here's the resistor, and you can see it's pretty charred. And so I probed that and it was open, which is interesting. So I just popped in another 10K half watt resistor, and we're gonna turn it on and see what it looks like. Okay, so I've put the chassis back in, and I hooked up the input and the power. So turn it on here and see what happens. So I just fired it up and tweaked some of the settings, and it came up and it looked really good. And so I've let it cool down. And now I'm turning it back on and it's stable again. So that's interesting because it used to always need to be tweaked every time you would turn it off and turn it back on. So it definitely looks like this 10K resistor was the cause of that problem. And in the schematic, there was a bypass capacitor. So I guess some of the signal was getting through, but it just wasn't working correctly. So yeah, so it looks pretty good now. Well, I got a new problem here. I left the machine running for about 2 hours to test if it would heat up and something would go wrong, and something has gone wrong. I don't think it's in the display. It actually looks like the logic of the game itself. It's like it's not counting and drawing at the right time. So yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to take the board out and diagnose this. Stay tuned. Okay, made some adjustments to the Quadrapong display, and as you can see, it's working again. So what I've done is that I've gone in and I've adjusted the vertical linearity and the vertical size, along with the vertical hole, which is a knob that's normally on the front of the television. And so whenever I change the vertical size, I have to also adjust the vertical hold. And so I kind of went back and forth on those, and then finally adjusted the linearity, and I was able to get the image so that it fills the CRT and is fairly well centered. And let's see here if I can reach inside the cabinet and turn up the brightness so you can see. So you can see here that it's filling most of the picture. And it seems to be stable again. So I'm gonna let it cook and see if it holds.